client run other code while we're waiting for a response from our server. So here we have a pretty extreme example of that. I have this web application where I can make a request to the server, and the server is going to take a long time to respond. I purposely designed it that way. But that's okay. In the meantime, we are going to make some hearts. So I have this little game here. Well, it's not much of a game, but I can hover inside of this div here, and it just generates hearts. So we're just amusing ourselves here. Normally, we would probably have our client do some kind of code that actually drives the functionality of our application. But in this case, we're just playing a game. It's just to make the point that the client can run other code while we're waiting. So now that the server has responded, we're taking that response and we're just going to incorporate that into our existing HTML. So the server says, hi, our game is done. If you want to make a request again, then we can, again, show the game and wait for the new response from our server. So how is this working? Let's take a look at the code. And here's my server. Here's the routes that we're hitting. And this is how I slowed it down. I just had it run a for loop a few million times. I mean, that'll do it. And then when that for loop is finished, we are rendering this partial waits.html. So what's in there? It's just a partial. What do you think would be in there? Not a whole lot. It's just an h4 tag. That's it. There's no meta tags. There's nothing else. It's just an h4. Now, what on earth will we do with just an h4? Well, remember that we already have HTML. We showed them index.html, right? When we first loaded the page, we had that button and everything. And there were a number of divs that were actually hidden. So what we did here is that we said when the button got clicked, then invoke this function. First, I emptied out anything that I had in the div called results, and then I made an AJAX request. So I made a request to that route that takes a really long time to complete, and we said when that response does come in, might take a while, but when it does come in, hide the Valentine game. That's the Valentine div. It was our little heart game. And whatever our response is from the server, incorporate that into the result div. So again, that response was just an h4 tag. We're just going to plug that into our result div. While we're waiting, we can show the Valentine game. So that's the idea with AJAX, is that we can have these requests being made to the server in the background so that our client can continue to run code. And when the response comes in, we just incorporate it into our already existing HTML rather than having to reload the entire page.